everybody and welcome back to the Blossom Crochet channel. My name is Rebecca, and if this is your first time visiting, then hello, and make sure that you subscribe to the channel and also click on that little bell icon and click to receive all notifications so that you never miss when I upload a new crochet tutorial. So in this video I'm going to be showing you how to create this beautiful rainbow clustered kisses blanket. Now this is a variation, so it's a pattern variation on the original Cluster Kisses blanket. So these ones are just worked ever so slightly differently, just to make those lovely crosses or kisses even more pronounced and even more obvious. So I will be showing you the little switch that you need to make stitches wise to get that beautiful effect, and I will also obviously be showing you how to change colours each row to get this beautiful rainbow as well as you work up. So it's a 2-row repeat. It's really simple. It works up really quickly as well. I've worked up this sample piece of all of these rows in probably 45 minutes, so it's a really quick one to do. So I would absolutely recommend using at least a half hook size larger than what your selected yarn recommends, just to keep it really nice and flexible and floaty. So you're going to start with your slip knot on your hook, and you're going to do your foundation chain in a multiple of 2. So just an even number multiple of 2. So yarn over and pull through. It's 1, 2, 3 and 4. So if you just complete your foundation chain, and I will meet you in a second. Okay, so we're ready to work back along now, and we want to work into the 4th chain from the hook. So you've got 1, 2, 3 and this is your 4th chain. And you're going to put a UK double crochet into that 4th chain. So do remember I'm using UK terms here, so in the US these are your single crochet. So you'll insert into your 4th chain, yarn over and pull up, and yarn over, pull through both. So chain 1, so skip 1 and double in the next. Chain 1, skip 1 and double in the next. And you'll just repeat that all the way along. So chain 1, skip 1 and double. I'm just about to complete my final chain 1, and then I've got my very last double crochet into that very final stitch. So now you can either chain 2 and turn, or you can do what I'm doing, which is to turn, and then I'm going to insert my hook into that very first stitch, going through the whole of the stitch, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both. Going to go behind that post, yarn over and pull up, yarn over and pull through both of those, and that just gives us a treble height stitch but without the gapping that you would get from a chain. So now we're going to be working our row of cluster stitches. So we're going to be working into all of the chain 1 spaces, and we're going to start with our very first chain 1 space, which is just here, and we're going to do our first cluster stitch. So you want to yarn over into your chain 1 space, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, back into the chain 1 space, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, and one more time, yarn over, insert, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, and then you've got 4 loops on your hook, and you want to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops, and chain 1. You're going to skip straight to your next chain 1 space and do another cluster stitch. So I'll just show you one more cluster now. So you yarn over, insert into your chain 1, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over again, back into your chain 1 space, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, and again yarn over, back in, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through all 4 loops and chain 1. So if you just go ahead now and pop 1 cluster stitch into every single chain 1 space, and remember to do your chain 1 in between. So I completed my final cluster in chain 1. I'm going to skip that final double crochet, and then I'm going to work into the chains just next to it. So skip the final double crochet and work into the top of the chain, and you're going to put a treble. So remember, UK treble, US double. but I'm not going to complete it because I'm going to be changing colour. So I'm going to yarn over, go into the top of that chain, yarn over and pull up. I'm going to yarn over and pull through the first two and stop, and then I'm going to grab my new colour and I'm going to pull that through the last two loops. I'm going to chain one just to secure that colour, and then I'm going to turn my work. And then again, you can either chain two and turn, or you can do what I'm doing. So I'm going to insert my hook into that very first stitch, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both, and then I'm going to go behind the vertical post, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both. And again, that's just a treble height stitch without the gapping of a chain two. So we're now going to be working our crossed stitches. So we're going to work into this chain one space after your first cluster. So yarn over, go into that first chain one space, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. So you're going to yarn over and you're going to go back in front of that cluster, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. So that is your first crossed treble stitch, and then again you're going to go to the next chain one space. So you've worked this one already, so you're going to go to the next one, yarn over and do your treble, and then again you're going to go back in front of that cluster and complete your treble. So you're just going to do that all the way along. So again, yarn over, skip the next cluster and go into that chain one space and complete your treble. Yarn over, go back in front of the cluster and do your crossed over treble. So you can see that's working up there. So if you just do that all the way along. Down towards the other end now, I've just got my final cluster here to work around. So make sure you don't miss your last cluster. And then you've got that treble height stitch that we did at the beginning of the last row that we still need to work into. So into the top of that stitch you'll put a treble. But again, I'm going to be changing again, so I'm going to go back to my white this time. So I will yarn over and pull through two, and then I'll bring my white back. I'll chain one and just tighten up that colour change. Obviously you can knot your ends together if you wish. I'm just going to snip off the yellow, and then I'm ready to work my cluster row. So this next row now is the first row of your repeat. So I'm going to turn, as again you can chain two and turn, it's up to you, but I'm going to go straight into my very first stitch, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both, behind the vertical post, yarn over and pull up, and yarn over, pull through both. And then this is where the pattern differs from the original. So in the original we worked into the top of the stitches. However, in this one, to make the little crosses or the little kisses more pronounced, we're going to be working in between the trebles. So it's a little bit tricky. You're going to need to pull your treble stitches apart to find that little space, and we're going to work in between that space. So in between those trebles, and you'll do your cluster stitch. Chain one, and then again in between the trebles of the next crossed stitch. So in the space in between them you will put your new clusters. Chain one, and again in between the trebles. So you will need to pull them apart a smidge to see the space. So you're not going to be working into the tops of the stitches, you make sure that you're working in between the stitches themselves. So last time I'll show you in between your crossed trebles. And chain one. So if you want to work that all the way along your row, and I will meet you in just a second. So I've worked my final cluster and chain 1, and then I just need to do my final treble into this very last stitch. But again, changing colour, so I will stop with my 2 loops and I will grab my new colour and pull it through those last 2 loops and chain 1. So this now is the row 2 for your repeat. So I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both, and vertical post, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2. And then again, we're ready to start our cross treble crochets now. So straight into the chain 1 space after your first cluster. Again, do your crossed treble by going back into the space before it. And then again into the chain 1 space after your next cluster. And then back into the space before it. And again, work that all the way along. So again, making sure you're working around your final cluster as normal. And then a final treble into that very last stitch. Again, I'm going to be stopping with my 2 loops and bringing back my white, because now I'm obviously going back to a cluster row again. And so now you're ready to go back to doing another cluster row. So those are the 2 rows that you will need to repeat over and over again until your project is the size that you want it to be. But I really do hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. Remember to give it a thumbs up and also share it with anyone that you think might like it. But that is it, and I will see you again for another tutorial really, really soon. But thank you as always for watching, and bye for now.